Cool. I'm sitting here speaking with Jumane Redway from
Yes, sir.
back in the day, making his way in the cannabis space, I must say.
Yeah, that was dope, man. We got to get a beat, and then we can just freestyle.
Man. Um, all right, so for an intro, what would you like to say?
Uh, we still recording?
Yeah, we're still recording.
Oh, okay. Uh, yeah, I'm Jumani Redway, man.
Audio and
uh,
visual, if you wanna speak there.
yeah, I'm Jumani Redway. It's a pleasure to be here with my brother Larry, brother I've known 30 plus years, man. I can't put a specific number on it because that's we have to probably look back at the yearbook.
Mrs. Clisby's sixth grade
Yeah,
field trip.
yeah. I mean that's really when it started. But yeah, even before then, we were young students of Baldwin Hills Elementary School, running around the playground, doing our thing. But it's a pleasure to be here with you, brother. Um, and you can find me at Jumani Redway on Instagram, Jumani Redway on Facebook. That's spelled JUMANEREDWAY. You can go to My Black History Calendar on your Google Play and your Apple Store and download it right now. And those two things will change your world.
All right, Jumani. So
Okay,
this is
so
gonna be our last 10 minutes here. So
so what are we gonna do in this segment? We're gonna
we were just talking about the cannabis space. You were just about to get into that before
yeah.
we were rudely interrupted by that the alarm. And let me see. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna adjust this.
Okay.
Yeah, that works. So that alarm will not be heard this time. So you can go. You can fly.
Okay. Tee me off though. Like, set me up. What was I getting into?
The cannabis space, and I think you were gonna get into.
We talked about like legalization, and then we were talking about something else.
Right, right. The legalization, California, and I mentioned, well, just what's your journey been like? You've been in
Oh
the space
yeah,
for 10
right,
years.
right, 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 right. Oh man,
Been in the game for 10 years.
so
Rap
it's
tune.
so cool to be with you on this podcast because we are alumni of Baldwin Hills Elementary School,
Right.
and another classmate of ours from Baldwin Hills during that time that we went there, he started his own cannabis company, and he's one of the early innovators in that cannabis vaporizer space,
Wow.
where the vape pen kind of thing was just coming into existence, and up to that point, people associated it with nicotine usually,
Okay.
and this is early 2010s. When it started to like the nicotine ones had just come out a little bit before then, and then so the cannabis ones had just started to come out at around that time too, and so we got reacquainted. It was 2012, after 20 something years of not knowing what we were up to, but good old Facebook, you
Right.
get a chance to get reacquainted with people. So he says, hey, let's go out, let's have some lunch. Of course, get together with my friend from Baldwin Hills Elementary School. Let's do it. And we get together. He tells me he's got his own cannabis company. I'm like, wow, like
Hmm.
that's crazy. Like you're actually producing products and you're taking them to the retail locations, or rather, I shouldn't say retail locations. They were called collectives,
Okay.
right, at the time. And there was no selling that went on. It was all about dealing with your constituents and your patients, but technically.
The patience, the jargon.
Right. Oh, I got to get the jargon right. But yeah, but the fact that he's actually making products that other people are using and operating a cannabis brand, I was just like, wow, that's wild to me. And so I volunteered. This is like 2012, just helping him out with different kind of matters that would come across communications issues and reviewing documents and stuff like that. Just kind of the office stuff that you don't really want to do because he was on more of the manufacturing sort of creative side,
All right.
of like making the oil. But yeah, long story short, we he reached out to me and said, "Hey, look, like I need someone to help me in this thing. You got to have people by you that you can trust, people with you that you can trust." And at the time, I was looking for work. My job had just ended its seasonal nature, and yeah, the NFL season had just ended, and so I was on. This is early January 2013, and yeah, that's where the journey started. And then that lasted up until 2018, 2019, and I started working for Steezy 2019, and in the cultivation space. But yeah, I've been working basically in the cannabis vape space for 10 years, because the company I worked with before, that's what they did, and that's Steezy's main thing is the vapor space. Although there's cannabis products that they create at all levels. We're talking the flower. We're talking products from the flower. We're talking pre rolls. We're talking hemp blunts. We're talking the vape products themselves, all the different sort of strains that we carry, merchandise, T-shirts, all sorts of stuff, lighters, rolling trays, and there's other brands there at the store too. But yeah, the the Steezy brand is interesting because they're a brand, but they also they have their own retail locations. They also sell other brands at the retail locations, and then their brand is also sold at other stores.
All right.
Throughout California, you can find them at any major retail location throughout the state. But it's interesting. It's an interesting space to be in, and yeah, I've been in it for 10 years now.
Let me see, man. Like, I will compare my cannabis experience to my music experience because I'm on the West Coast. Because we are on the West Coast,
Yep.
I've always had an affinity for West Coast hip hop and specifically, DJ Quick, gangster rap, because that's like organically West Coast.
Yeah.
But I didn't have a taste for East Coast. It was an acquired taste
Yeah.
because
It's been a process for me too.
I had to be awakened, I had to be educated, and I had to grow an appreciation for it. So, like, within the weed space, like personally, I'm not that deep into it, but I'm a fan. Sadly, I mean, Nipsey.
Yeah.
Nipsey's gone, but I'm still a fan of Nipsey, his legacy, and
Yeah.
like if I were to, when I go into dispensaries, I ask for Nipsey's Marathon OG. Like that's kind of my loyalty and my allegiance to the West.
Yes.
But I've also discovered through listening to other music and experimenting that hey man, there's a whole world of music out there, which you can probably speak to. There's a whole world of cannabis out there.
Oh
Like
yeah. Oh
so
yeah.
and you mentioned the wine, the comparison with a
Yes.
winery and this.
Yes.
So like
Yes.
speak to us about, you know, the differences in the weeds and
It's kind of like coffee too. Coffee is another comparable thing. I brought up wine, but coffee is similar to it. It's about everything that goes into it. The condition of the soil,
oh, that's
right?
you know
The terroir, I think is the I don't know if I pronounced that right, but I think that's the term for it.
Is that a French term?
I think so. Yeah, it's
Because I was introduced to the Barolo wines,
mm,
and the Barolo is basically, as they described it to me at San Antonio Winery, you're actually tasting the soil. It's like one of the richest
yeah.
wines. Other wines you can taste the grapes, but the Barolo it's a very rich wine that you taste the soil. So it's like
Yeah.
drink some dirt, bro.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah, no, I mean, because that's what it is, man. It's the even when you're producing indoors, uh, the the plants are being fed, and the roots are picking up the
Yeah.
nutrients that you're feeding it into, and those lights are emanating. It's replicating what the plant thinks is the sun,
Mm.
and it's a harmony, throughout that room. Um, your flower room. When I say that room, is what I'm referring to. There's a harmony that goes on in there, and it's amazing. When you walk into a really good flower room, it how can you not just be happy because you're going to see those plants just thriving. And I mean, if you like gardening at all,
Oh yeah.
it's amazing.
And then
The plants grow so fast too. There is a reason that they call it weed.
and 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 speaking of the soil, you know, I've had this problem here when I'm working in the garden.
Yeah.
Like the soil can be so compacted and be nutrient deficient
Yes.
that if you have some really good soil, fertile soil, then you can grow some
Yes.
really good plants, beautiful plants,
Yes.
strong plants, etc.
Yep.
So I understand the analogy that the soil definitely needs to be rich,
Hmm.
and then the product, the tree, the weed,
It's a
the
reflection of it.
flower. Oh
It's just a
yeah,
reflection of the soil.
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, what you're trying to do in an indoor situation is you're trying to replicate what the plant thinks is good soil.
Hmm.
And then in an outdoor situation, yeah, you want to have a good soil, quality. And certain regions are known for having better soil quality than other regions. But it's a tough plant, okay, and it's resilient, and it can grow in a lot of different conditions
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
But from a commercial perspective, you want the best soil. You want the best sort of locations. That it's coming from on the outdoor perspective, and from the indoor perspective, yeah, you want a brand that's really doing high level. Things as far as the condition that their plants are in, and the facility that their plants are in, and what they're feeding it, how they're treating it. All that makes a difference because it really is anything that you consume. It matters so much. You can feel that energy from it when you consume it. You know.
I've heard that there are like synthetic like weeds, and the quality is it's chemical. People, the old heads will say
Yeah.
that in the
Yeah.
70s
Well.
it was more organic. Today it's
Yeah. Yeah.
something
Okay.
else.
Well, there's like synthetic cannabis, which is something else in and of itself completely, which
Oh,
is very very dangerous. That spice or whatever it is. It's the stuff that they talk about. You ever heard of that stuff?
I think I've heard of the term spice.
Yeah, yeah. There's some stuff that like they sell in I don't know where they sell it necessarily, or specifically to go for it, but they sell it at some of those smoke shops and stuff, where it's
Woo.
like synthetic. We're not talking about that in what I'm about to talk about, but there are some um, I want to say there's yeah chemicals, additives, whatever you want to call it, uh, nutrients that are they're natural things, and then there's artificial things,
All
right?
right.
And so there's certain products out there that yeah they do have something that's synthetic, artificial inside of it, um, or it's concentrated in such a way that's not natural, if that makes sense. And the idea is to make the buds bigger, to do things. But it's the same kind of thing with and with our fruits and vegetables.
Oh yeah.
You have your organic stuff, and then you have your stuff that's got some other stuff in it. Or you don't know what kind of seed that came from, or what they were using. To make it grow so large, or what have you. But yeah, the same thing kind of exists in cannabis too.
Cool.
Yeah, but that's the thing. The laws, though, the stuff that you're getting from the legal marketplace, that the government's taking a lot of precautions to make sure that stuff is coming to you, with nothing artificial in it. Everything that those cultivators are using, has a natural basis.
Window seat surfing on the wing. As an adolescent, I dreamed of big things. Climbed to the top of the mountain to see the scene. Petty rap don't want me to have anything. I'm the captain, no jet lag. Boeing jet swag. Floating to the sunset, keep the drinks coming back. She summoned me, gave me turbulence on the sink. Pretty flight attendant boarding pass, I'm a buddy. Stunting first class, vegan meal,